for just a second. I'm just bringing your attention. So let's see Sanjeevani, Shomita, Jennifer is present, yes. Four of you, right? Yes. Till now, four of you are present. Shubhra, Sanjeevani, Jennifer and Shomita. Okay, good afternoon to all of you. Acha, first of all, before I forget, we have completed Islamic Empire map, right? And then we have Nomadic Empire not there, three orders not there. Changing cultural traditions, no map. Confrontation of cultures, you don't have it. Okay. Fine. So, two more maps you have. One is from the displacing indigenous people. So, tomorrow you bring world map. Tomorrow you bring world map. We are going to do the displacing indigenous peoples map, that is North America and Australia. Okay, so tomorrow world map we are going to do North America and Australia, right? Fine. So we were dealing with the last chapter, so we will continue to do that. The last day aggression we have discussed, and today we will discuss about the westernization and tradition of Japan. So we lately have understood that in Japan they were very much into this kind of event, that they want to live a better life. They wanted to make Japan good. They wanted to make Japan developed and one of the important economic and world power of the world. So they wanted to make Japan like that. So in that case, we have seen that they have taken the policy of aggression nationalism, but still then there was a debate, there was a question about westernization and tradition. Whether to shed the tradition and welcome the westernization, or to make a combo between them, make a what we can say, mix and match kind of a thing, mix and match between them, or what to do, right? So there was a debate about westernization and tradition. So what happened, that there were many intellectuals, they gave their ideas, they gave their philosophies and inputs, then what should Japan do in choosing the thing. One man who was a very intellectually sound and intellectually important from the Meiji Restoration time period, his name was Fukuzawa Yukichi. So Yukichi expressed that Japan must expel Asia. He meant that Japan must shed its Asian characteristics and become a part of the West. So this Meiji intellectual, whose name is Yukichi Fukuzawa Yukichi, he said that Japan, being an Asian country, it should shade its Asian characteristics. That means all those traditions of Asia, all those submissions of Asia should be shed off. And a new Western culture and a new westernization should be accepted. That was the view of Yukichi. Whether everybody agreed to it or not, that's a different issue, but his view was this. Okay, then another man, the next generation questioned this total acceptance of westernization. The next generation of Yukichi, they said, why would we shedding all our characteristics, all our features, all our traditions and accept something which is not ours, which is completely different, which is completely unknown to us, and it cannot be mixed in this society. So in this way, a man a philosopher, whose name is Miyake Setsurei. So Setsurei argued that each nation must develop its spatial talents in the interest of world civilization. To devote oneself to one's country is to devote oneself to the world. What it said, or what was the view of Setsurei? That he said that each and every country has a spatial feature, has a spatial characteristics, and that particular country should continue to have that kind of a speciality, that kind of a feature, that kind of a tradition. Why? Because of the world's goodness, because of the world's sake. Why? Then only the world will be a diverse place. Like today when we go to Lucknow, we have a lot of biryani. When we go to Hyderabad, we eat a lot of biryani. But when we go to maybe Punjab, or when we go to Kashmir, we eat a different type of food. Like that. When you go to Japan, you have a different kind of food, you have a different kind of music, you have different kind of dresses. But if you go to Brazil, the food is completely different, the dresses, the music, the dance, everything is different, right? That is the flavor of the world. That is the flavor of diversity. That's why we change our taste. Every day eating that dal and sabji, dal and rice and chawal and sabji is not very good to taste. That's why we go for biryanis and chow mein and all that, right? So that is the point, that diversity is very important for the world itself. The world, the nature is very diverse. He had made creatures like elephant and giraffe, and he had made also the creatures like ants and caterpillars. He had made flowers which give us beautiful smell, but he had also created pitcher plants who can eat an animal, who can eat small animals like rats and frogs and like that, right? So there are diversities. The diversity is there in the world. That's why we all live. So this was the view of Setsurei, that every country should maintain, every country should continue their own foundings, their own ideas. Okay? Fine. Then a completely contradictory view came from another man who was very much attracted to the Western liberalism and wanted Japan based on the military but on democracy. Democracy was demanded. Another man whose name was Yuki Imori was demanding constitutional government from the French Revolution. This Imori, he was saying that a constitutional government should be introduced in Japan, and that constitution will take care of all the demands and rights and rules and regulations of the Japanese people. The constitution will decide whether to keep tradition or whether to adopt westernization, or to make a mix and match of the western and the tradition in Japan. It's about the constitution only, and this Imori, he got his idea from the French Revolution, because the French Revolution was the first revolution in the whole world which said the three very important words for human civilization, that is equality, fraternity and liberty. So from there, the theory of human civilization was taken and was applied in Japan. Understood? Anything you want me to explain? Then I will move to the next part. And today I will finish this part. Clear? Okay. So as this was introduced as this new style of living, new style of thinking was introduced in Japan. So what happened? A change was seen. A change could be seen in the daily life. So a new type of products, electronic products were introduced, and many electronic products were made, like the sandwich maker, like the microwave oven, like the gas oven, like the electric kettle, which made our lives easier, which made our lives much simpler. And not only that, in this new style of Japan, men and women both started working. Both became the bread earner and the homemaker, because previously only men used to go outside and they used to work, and female people, they used to stay inside the home. But now in new system, it was not done in that manner. So the women section also, they started working in different fields, right? And as this started to happen, nuclear families became a fashion, because it was not possible to live with everybody, to live in the same place, because for the sake of job, for the sake of different work, the husband and the wife had to live in a separate town, sometimes in some different town from the family. So they started having nuclear family. Not only nuclear family, they started having small houses, only 1-bedroom houses, only 2-bedroom houses, which means the flat concept. The flat concept started to come up first from Japan during 1920s. So just imagine, when 1920 in India, we were just beginning the freedom movement against British with Gandhiji. 1920 is the period when the non-cooperation movement started. We were dealing with Gandhiji and the non-cooperation movement against the Britishers. These Japanese were making nuclear families, working together and making flats where they were living also, right? So there was a change in the daily life. But after everything which was done by Japan, what happened? That Japan took part in the Second World War. Japan took part in the Second World War, and as you know the result, Japan lost in the Second World War. Not only Japan lost in the Second World War, Japan was shattered. Japan was shattered because America has So Japan was completely shattered after these two bombs. Japan wanted to be one of the biggest power of the world but could not do so because they were stopped. Because they were much more overconfident, so they lost their control. But what is miracle, what is the magic is this, that in 1945 the two atom bombs were dropped, and within 12 years, 1962, Japan was completely ready to welcome the Olympic Games. Can you imagine? One country's economy completely shattered, one country whose population completely died, one country whose three generations are coming with a disability due to the radiation of the nuclear attack. That country is ready to hold the greatest show on earth, that is the Olympics game. It's remarkable. That's why historians, they say that the Japan's return back to the global power, it's like a miracle, it's a magic. How the Japan or the Japanese people, they have done this, which was impossible for any other country, that was possible for Japan. And not only that, during this time they had experimented the fastest train in the world, that is the bullet trains, which ran 200 miles per hour. Just imagine 200 miles. Within 1 hour you can reach Kolkata from Bardhaman and back. Within 1 hour you can reach Asansol and back. To and fro, 1 hour. Bullet train. Now the speed is 300 miles per hour. Oh, they are talking about miles, not only kilometers, means it's more than that. Okay, means beyond Kolkata and beyond Asansol. Okay, so it's very interesting that how Japan, they have revived their economy, they have revived their society, and they jumped into the matter. And not only that, they also started to look into the matter of the nature. They understood that if you do mess with the nature is not going to forgive you. The nature is going to hit you back, which we, the Indians, are understanding now. Maybe we are now understanding that the results of cutting trees and making big buildings and malls have been a very bad effect. That's why our summers are becoming scorching heat and the winters are becoming short. We could not understand the 6 seasons of Bengal. We could not have Ilish fish during the monsoon because of this pollution, because of everything. And nowadays a great pandemic is going on, and with this pollution and everything, it's going beyond everything, right? So Japan understood this beyond everyone, before everyone. So the government of Japan, they started having some kinds of legal procedures. They started having legal procedures against nature destruction. They started having policies to control the pollution, to control the forestry, to control everything in their hand. So that is a show, that is a, where can I say, that is the example of developed country's government. A developed government of a country will act like that. So Japan did that, and Japan got the result of being a developed country, and today you can see that Japan is one of the most important country of the world. It's one of the leading powers. We are, I think, 10 times or more than that bigger than Japan. We had maybe 100 times more population than Japan. Still we could not reach the position of Japan at least. right? So with this we end Japan here. Tomorrow we are going to do the map pointings. After that we will start China, and very soon we are going to finish our full syllabus. Any questions? Any questions, any doubt? Yes, Piyusha, I can see you. So I have given you the attendance. Anyone else? No. Shomita, Sanjeevani, Jennifer, Somshubra, Piyusha. Fine. So, class 11 arts. So as I said that tomorrow we are meeting with the map. A world map will be needed. We are going to deal with chapter number, this is 11, 10 map, that is the North America and Australia. Okay, so see you and goodbye.